The Taconic and Green Regional School District's budget was approved by its Board of Directors on Tuesday, January 8th, as the landscape for March town meetings, set this year for Tuesday, March 5th, begins to come into sharper focus. In Manchester, the Taconic and Green Board of Directors gave a thumbs up to a proposed budget of about $32.6 million, a slight increase of about 2.3% from the current year's budget of nearly $31.9 million. The basic budget actually totals about $32.2 million, but voters will be asked to approve 3 separate warrant articles totaling about $428,000. If all measures are approved, the adjusted equalized tax rate will decline by about half a penny, from slightly above $1.55 to slightly below that number. But the tax rates in the individual towns that make up the Taconic and Green, which includes Manchester, Dorset, Sunderland, Danby, Mount Tabor, and the 4 mountain towns of Weston, Londonderry, Peru, and Landgrove, will show some variations in some of the towns. Voters in the Taconic and Green District will discuss the proposed budget and other articles at the Manchester Elementary Middle School on Tuesday, February 26th. The actual voting on the budget, the election of board members, and the warrant articles will take place on Tuesday, March 5th, at the individual town polling places. School Superintendent Jacqueline Wilson explained some of the pieces of the new budget proposal.
Nothing really, dramatically different in our budget development. We did add one position. We looked a lot at equity because we have varying programs and opportunities for our kids across the Taconic and Green. One place we really had some weakness was in the area of health instruction. So we've added one position in health instruction, and that will be a shared position that will work across a few schools. We haven't really planned that out thoroughly yet, but we're hoping that will at least start to give us a heads up in an area that we really need to attend to. We did increase our mental health clinicians and support for kids in our schools because we really see a need for that, and we have a heck of a time getting kids services in from our outside agencies. So we're going to give this a try. We're going to do some hires and see if we can get some hires and see if we can better meet the needs of our kids. So that is an increasing need we absolutely see. It's getting more pronounced. I think, from year to year, we're seeing those needs accelerate.
There will also be another special information meeting held on Tuesday, January 15th, also at the Manchester Elementary Middle School, and that will start at 7 p.m. That meeting has to do with a change in voting procedure from last year. Instead of commingling all the votes from all the towns in the district, the Taconic and Green Board would like to count them by individual towns. Again, Superintendent Wilson explains the background.
And the question is asking the voters to agree to a change in the merger articles of agreement for the Taconic and Green that will allow us to count votes really using more of a canvassing method than a commingling method. And here's the story behind that. Very intentionally, when the merger committee put together their articles of agreement, they wanted to have all the votes commingled because we did not want to. We're really looking at all of our kids as all of our kids, and we did not want to have any animosity between towns, saying that, oh, this town voted the budget down, this town supported it. We really wanted all of those votes commingled, and we would report out as a total as to this, the votes for any issues regarding our school. But the issue is that the laws that govern, the laws that govern what it means to commingle, were really developed back in the 70s for when there were union districts, union high schools were forming, and it was far easier for folks to bring those ballots together and count them. They may have been 10 miles apart, maybe at the most. We're in a situation right now where we had to bring our first election. We had to bring votes in from Weston. We had to bring votes in from Danby, from Sunderland. It was really a nightmare. So our sheer size made it really hard to coordinate that, and we were fairly uncomfortable with it. What this vote is going to do is to just say from now, it'll go back to how it used to be, that you just go and vote at your town hall. You'll have one ballot that will have the school questions, and it will have your town questions on it. You vote. That information gets funneled to our district clerk, and then we'll report out the votes. So all of the voting is controlled by the town clerks in your hometowns, and we feel that that's the best way to handle it.
The voting on this provision will take place on Tuesday, January 22nd, with the balloting to take place at the individual town polling places. For the GNAT-TV News Project, I'm Andrew McKeever.